Traditional economics says that people behave in rational, calculating ways when they make decisions. However, we know that's not true, like how people procrastinate on assignments, or how I thought bangs were a good idea. Behavioral economics, on the other hand, says the opposite, that people often don't have their self-interest in mind when they make decisions. Researchers have even developed a series of biases that cause this irrational behavior, such as when people prioritize the present over the future and, for example, don't contribute in their retirement fund. By leveraging these biases, researchers have been able to develop a way to impact behavior through what they define as a nudge. Companies and governments across the world have been using nudges to impact the lives of millions on a daily basis. An example of this is in Australia in 2016, the government sent out a note to doctors saying they were in the top 30% of antibiotic prescribers. The result was a tremendous drop in 12% of antibiotic prescription rates by those same doctors, and the nudge was called a success. However, there is a fundamental flaw in how nudges are evaluated. Researchers tend to only focus on the direct targeted impact of a nudge, rather than subsequent areas that it could spill over and affect. The absurdity of this would be the equivalent of if drug manufacturers only looked at the impact of a drug on heart disease, rather than the huge list of side effects that they screen through at the end of commercials. I've spent the last year developing a theory classifying nudges based on their ability to spill over. Specifically, I hypothesize that nudges that promote a behavior or mindset, rather than a specific discrete action, have the potential for the mindset to linger, spill over, and impact subsequent decisions. Consider the nudge of an identity prime. This is when you have someone identify with an aspect of their identity and consider decisions through that lens. Some might say, when I'm primed for my identity as a Philadelphian, I am a terrible person to watch sports with. The identity prime is a prime example of a nudge that uses mindsets and behavior rather than actions. To test this, I ran an original experiment. In this, female respondents who were primed for their parental identity showed an increased concern for COVID-19, the initial targeted action. However, those same respondents, after a period of time, showed a greater concern for environment, this secondary untargeted decision. So, if there's a better understanding of spillovers, the impact on the field of nudges could be tremendous. Say the example of Australian doctors, and the antibiotics, in turn, caused a decrease in opioid prescription rates. The take-up of nudges would skyrocket, critical politicized areas could be addressed, and the impact of a nudge could be better understood. Thank you.